Howdy YouTube, it's your old buddy, Texas Tuber Tim. Adventure Day 1. We're in the country. We got up at 6 a.m. after staying the night in the local hotel, which my wife is not in love with. And we're headed out to the property, trying to get an early start. We're going to be doing some work outside, so I want to take advantage of the cool weather. It's 64 degrees, so that's nice. Mostly going to be doing some outside work today. The big issue this morning is that we don't have butter. My wife's from Puerto Rico. She loves her coffee and her toast, and she forgot to bring butter. So we're at the local drive-in grocery in this booming metropolis trying to get butter at 6 in the morning. Stay tuned. So we're out at the property. We're getting some coffee and breakfast here real quick, but let me give you a quick tour and kind of explain what we're up to today. Alright, so you'll hear us refer to this unit here as T3. This is the unit we're going to start with. Basically, I'm going to be focused today on trying to clean up outside, get some of this high grass down, clear some trails, and kind of just make sure that the landscaping, the grass and stuff's in good order. And once I get this area done here around the immediate area of the house, the goal is to start down this little trail here. This is where that area opens up to the pasture, a kind of open area, and then ultimately make my way around that dry creek back up to the other house, so we have some connectivity, if you will, between the two properties. So that's basically what we're up to today. We got to finish drinking our coffee, and we'll get to that here in just a minute. Let's go see what we've done today. Taking a tour. Gas is still low on this. We've been cutting trail.
Okay, so I'm driving around the outside edge of the property here. We're in the private road, and our property's on the right-hand side. We left that area that I've been calling T3, and we're headed back toward the other location where T1 and 2 are. So all this property on the right-hand side is ours, and this is a private road we're driving down that's maintained by somebody that lives in the area. I haven't had a chance to meet them yet. This part of the property is mostly fenced, not entirely, but quite a bit of it's been fenced. And now we're headed into the drive that gets back to those two other units. And at this point, we have property on both sides of the road. This is the driveway into the back of the property. In a minute here, you're going to see the building that I call the she shed right there. That's the little storage building that they put out on the property. And we're coming in behind T2 here. You just saw the carport right there. This is that little pole barn that I showed you in a previous video. It's got trailers and bikes and things in it. And we're going to wrap around behind the back of T2 here and get to the hunting or shooting lane that the previous owners cut through the trees. That area on the right is the fenced-in area where the dogs will be able to run. Kind of bumpy through here, so I apologize for the bumpiness of the video, but that's the yard that I mowed the day before. And this is quite a long lane here. I'm going to say this is 4 to 5 football fields long. By the way, this little mule we're driving, at this point I've only been out for one weekend. I would say at this point the mule is almost a must-have. It at a minimum a huge convenience to have this little mule for getting around the property. Unless of course you've got a pickup or some other kind of vehicle that you can do this with. But I'm taking my wife back here for the first time. She's been in this lane But I had been cutting a new trail. I said earlier in the video I was trying to kind of connect the two properties. There's a dry creek at the end of this shooting lane, and I'm trying to build a new trail here on the right that would connect the two properties more or less along the dry creek. So we're going to turn in here, and there's going to be a couple points where all right, so needless to say, I haven't cut the trail quite wide enough. There's going to be a couple funny parts here where I left the audio in. I'm trying to keep from laughing as I'm doing the voiceover here, but a couple spots where my wife was teaching me some new words that I've cut out of the video. But lots of oak trees in here, a lot of yopon and other brush. But I had spent a big chunk of the morning cutting this trail. This wasn't here this morning. Had to get the limbs and stuff cut back and then run through here with the lawnmower a couple times to get it to where it was a better defined trail.
Yeah, really?
So lots of work cutting these lines in. I really wish at this point I had a tractor with a brush hog on it, but I'm making do with the equipment I've got. I did a lot of work with the riding lawnmower here. Used some regular clippers or trimmers. I had a power saw to get some of the bigger stuff out of here, but I basically just continue to pass back through here with the riding lawnmower to try and get this cleared out a little better. And we're trying to make our way back to the dry creek, which is going to be a short ways up here. This is a really cool feature on the property. One thing I will say, if you're planning to do this kind of work, blue jeans or some kind of heavy long pants are going to be a good idea. I was also wearing a long sleeve shirt to keep the bugs and the tree limbs off of me. Also, I don't like wearing sunscreen a whole lot, so that would be one other tip for you if you're going to get out and try and do this kind of work. If we have chiggers out here in this property, I haven't yet figured that out, but that's one other thing you'll want to be aware of. I really love the way the oak trees are on this property. There's some really big mature ones, but there's also a lot of smaller ones. I think this is going to be a really neat piece of property. So as I was cutting this trail, I was really trying to do a balance of making a trail where we could walk through here, but also such that we wouldn't make it look really lived in, I suppose. Okay, at this point, I'm going to show you some still pictures. This is a mound of trash we did over the course of the day. We're going to need to get a dumpster in here to get rid of all of this. That's that little mule we've been driving around. Super, super handy to have. If you've got room in your budget for that, I would highly recommend it. You can see it's heavily used and dirty, but super, super handy to have on a ranch like this one. This is the area behind T3 that I'd mowed earlier in the day. That's starting to look pretty decent. And this is the front yard at T3. Hard to tell from the photos, but it looks way better.
Howdy YouTube, it's your old buddy. FatTimRanchin Day 2. We are back over at T1 and T2. I need to get some mowing done today. I'm going to give you a look around the yard so we can get the kind of the before and after effect. Let's get this going.
So we had surveyors on site. This is them set up. This is the yard over by T1 and T2. And this is just to kind of give you a before picture. That grass is not super high, but it does need to be mowed.
Alright, so we got the backyard mowed. Let's have a look. Had to make 2 passes with the mower because blades I don't think are very sharp. There's some rough areas there and I still got a weed eat edge, but it's looking better. We mowed the road, which really didn't need maintenance too terribly badly. And then I kind of carved out this little parking stall here. Y'all may remember me talking about these locks that go on these trailers. But I figured being back in the bushes like that, it'd be really hard to see it from the street. So went ahead and cleared that out. We got all this mowed today. This is looking pretty good. And then I got this cleaned out as well. And some more mowing around the back. Let me go over to the deck here real quick. This area still needs a lot of work, but it looks a lot better, believe it or not. Mostly ran through here with the blower to get the worst of it out. We're going to have to clean or pressure wash this deck some way. But this is starting to look better, I think. So that's the quick update. I don't think I have any major revelations over the course of the weekend. One thing I learned about the mower, it's a riding mower that discharges to the side. I almost wish you could flip the discharge from one side to the other, but once you kind of get the hang of it, the key is to go in a loop or a circle where you're always kicking to the outside and you're working your way toward the inside. That was my main takeaway from the weekend. A few other things I learned about equipment and things like that, which I may share on a future video. But for now, we need food and a shower and get home and get ready for the work week. Y'all stay frosty.